Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Beth, here to help you fulfill your potential in meditation. As most of you know, I don't have just one method that I teach to everybody, like one size fits all. Instead, I much prefer to teach people one-on-one. And the reason is that you're all different. So please use these videos as a guideline, and if there's anything that isn't quite working for you or anything that doesn't quite fit, then be in touch and I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you one-on-one. Today's video is about a really powerful vipassana method called Anupada vipassana. Now this is a vipassana method that was famously used by Sariputta at the time of the Buddha. For those of you who don't know, Sariputta was one of the Buddha's chief disciples, and he was foremost in wisdom. Of all of the Buddha's disciples, he was the wisest. So if this method is good enough for Sariputta, then I think we can say it's good enough for us. So what is this method of vipassana, Anupada vipassana? Well, as we've said already many times, whenever we are practicing vipassana, we are focused on the momentary arising and passing away of ultimate reality. But there are different ways that we can divide it up. So if we imagine that all of ultimate reality is a pie, there are different ways that we can slice the pie. We could just practice vipassana on the whole pie, all of ultimate reality, or we could slice it in two and we could practice on materiality, rupa, and mentality, nama. We could slice the pie into 5, and then we've got the 5 aggregates, the 5 khandhas. We could slice it into 12, and we've got the 12 bases. But the most fine slicing of the pie that we can do is we can slice it into 28 types of materiality, 52 types of mental factor, 121 different types of consciousness. Now when we slice the pie up that fine, we are practicing Anupada vipassana. So we're going to take each mental factor one by one, and we're going to practice vipassana just on that mental factor. Internally, externally, past, present, future, near and far. Just that mental factor. We're not going to move on until we have exhaustively practiced vipassana on just one mental factor, and then we're going to do the next mental factor. We're going to do that for all 52 mental factors, all 121 different types of consciousness, and all 28 types of materiality. Now when you hear this, you might think that sounds like a very laborious and time-consuming way to practice vipassana, and it can be, but it's also extremely powerful. The reason is, firstly, that it's exhaustive. So if there's anywhere that our delusion remains, if there's anywhere that our sense of self, of me and mine, or of permanence remains, then this Anupada vipassana will find it, because it's an extremely exhaustive, detailed method of vipassana. But the second, perhaps more powerful reason is that it's incredibly subtle. It's inclining our mind to be with extremely subtle states for a long time, and for that reason it's powerfully inclining our mind in the direction of Nibbana. So that's what I have to say today about Anupada vipassana. It's not for everybody, but I would suggest that you at least give it a go and see if it's helpful for you in your vipassana practice. If there's anything that's unclear to you or anything that you're unsure about, then be in touch with me and I'll be more than happy to discuss the details with you one-on-one. But now's the time to get off of those screens, get onto the cushions and actually do the practice. There's a remainderless ending of all suffering, so let's not waste time, let's actually do the practice. As most of you know, I do all of my work on a donation basis. So I encourage you to support me either through Patreon or through my website so that I can continue to make these videos. Thank you so much for your support. Wishing you the best with your meditation.